Hi there. Nothing like suddenly deciding to do something that you hadn't planned, that you have thought about in the past, but you hadn't planned it. This morning, I suddenly decided that I was going to start sharing content about my art and my life on YouTube. Here I am. So I watch lots and lots and lots of different creators in all genres, all sorts of areas of fascination and interest. And the ones that fascinate me the most are the people that just talk about their everyday, real life. And I have an enormous amount of mundane, everyday, real life stuff to talk about. And I need to get on with everyday. Oh, there are the bells. I happen to live somewhere where we get the most amazing bells every Sunday morning, which is very appropriate next to my new window. This is my new window in my new studio. It's taken a while to build it, and it kind of evolved. I didn't plan it. I didn't plan to get an enormous stained glass effect window, but I did. And then the person building the new studio for me had to build the whole studio around it. So it's really interesting listening to my first attempt so far, just like a cold start. It's really interesting listening to my voice, listening to the performance, the masks that I'm already putting on, that I'm determined not to allow to take over what is genuinely, authentically me when I'm just talking to me alone, and potentially loads of other people will hear me. So I thought I'd come out here. I literally leapt out of bed. I rushed out. I thought, I know, I'll go and sit in front of my new window while the bells are playing and get on with the mundane thing of having to brush my hair. My hair doesn't really get much attention. In fact, nothing about me physically gets much attention nowadays. I don't really care anymore. So this is a channel where you're going to get me hairy warts and all, because I've got them. I've got a couple of hairy warts and a hairy chin. I can't see it in the mirror, so I don't care. Anyway, 56 years old. I've got really long hair. I haven't had it cut for over 30 years. Probably. I was in my 20s last time I let anybody put scissors on my hair. I've snipped the odd bit off here and there. Haven't really dyed it since I was in my early 20s. I've stuck the odd bit of funky colour on every now and then. But generally, my hair is just, as it comes, au naturel. And I think it thrives on neglect, to be quite honest. You know, I don't use loads of shampoo. It doesn't get brushed very often. So therefore it's not getting as damaged as somebody that has a high maintenance hairdo. Although on this particular occasion, I've let it go a little bit longer than I should have done. Oh my goodness. So what am I going to do with this? Why have I called it Spiralling Success? Why do I want to do this? Well, basically, I don't have any goal in mind. I'm not trying to prove something. I'm not trying to achieve something. I just thought I'd see what happened. I've been off social media for 3 years now. That was just a snap decision one day. It kind of was brewing for a while, but one day I just thought, if you want something different, you have to do something different. So, having been a prolific poster, both with my personal accounts and with my media accounts to do with me trying to create jewellery, and also with my antiques and collectibles. You know, I was pretty prolific and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the kick, I enjoyed the buzz. I enjoyed the buzz when I knew I'd said something funny. And, you know, I used to get loads of feedback off my friends about how I cheered them up and how I inspired them and stuff like that. And I don't know, it was all too much. It was all too much for me. Life was quite stressful at the time. Not that it ever stopped being stressful. Stressful in a better way now, good way. I had a lot to deal with personally going on, and I just thought I need to turn down the volume of things that I need to process in my head. I don't know if I'll ever go back to posting on my personal profiles. Don't know if I need to. Anyway, so I'm going to be all over the place. I'm going to be all over the place because I only decided to do this 10 minutes ago. I updated my details. I changed the title to Spiraling Success because I feel like my whole life is full of spirals going around and around. First of all, I make spirals. I make hand-forged spirals. I haven't made one for 3 years. I don't know what it's going to be like going back to making a hand-forged anything. You know, is it like riding a bike? Do I just get back on and off I go? Or do I find that as an ageing, menopaused woman, I might not be able to do what I did a few years ago? Who knows? But I'm not short of ideas. I'm never short of ideas. I'm never short of ideas to the point where I don't sleep very well at night sometimes. Whether they're positive or negative, I'm bombarded constantly with ideas. Creative ones. So, I'm going to be making jewellery again very soon. Over the past few years, I've built up a self-employment business as an antiques and collectibles dealer. It doesn't pay a lot. It gives me an enormous amount of pleasure. It doesn't pay a lot at the moment, has the potential. It gives me an enormous amount of pleasure because I am all about the dopamine hits. I'm all about the search. I'm all about the discovery. I'm all about the geeking out on information. And I didn't realise that I was that person. Not fully. I kind of understood it, but not fully until I started doing this. And it doesn't matter whether I'm researching a rare as rocking horse droppings Georgian necklace, or I'm researching a little plastic badge. I need to know everything about everything. I need to know that the price I'm putting things out at is a come by me price and yet will maximise potential profits. I need to know everything about everything that I'm trying to buy and sell. I have an enthusiasm for what I'm doing, and I think that has helped me to build something up that I'm really enjoying doing. I learned a few years ago that it would be useful to have passive incomes or semi-passive incomes, and I did explore the idea of doing YouTube videos back then, but life just had too many other really important things that needed my attention. My anxiety was through the roof. I had some physical things that held me back on a daily basis for a long time. And so I'm not going to edit any of this out. I know that other YouTube creators have a very slick edited version, and perhaps I'll get to that at some point. I don't know. I've got a lot going on. Anyway, spiraling success. Success coming in waves, going back again, around and around. Every time success became too successful, found it stressful. And yet I need to work out a way of successfully bringing in an income whilst honouring my obsessions for the rest of my life. So back in the day when I was just a jeweller, and then I was just a jeweller who wasn't working because they were being a stay-at-home mum, who then tried to create jewellery in a shed in the garden, and I knew that I needed to bring an income in at some point in the future. I just didn't know how to handle what was involved in making jewellery be the thing that saved our necks. Perhaps I'll get to talking about how I found it difficult at some point later on. But anyway, I didn't plan to do the antiques and collectibles thing. It just kind of happened and evolved, as many things do. And to begin with, it was just, oh, I could have a go at that. That could be fun. And then very quickly it grew into, wow, I could really make something out of this. And then we had lockdown. So I opened up a little emporium unit in Llangollen, and I could see where the success would go with it and how much fun I'd have with it, but it wasn't about making a business, a complete business out of it. But then we had lockdown, and I put my faith in waiting for all the events that happen in Llangollen that were all cancelled for a couple of years, and the faith that particular aspect of the location would really reap its benefits in the long run, and it has done. It has done. I don't take anything for granted. Anything could go wrong. Even a minor accident can affect you more than you could imagine for years. So I'm trying to live in the now with an eye on the future, taking the lessons I have learned from the past. God, I don't even sound like me, sorry. I'm listening to myself talking again. Is this how I normally talk to friends when I'm relaxed? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, how long have we got? Oh, we're 12, 13 minutes in, and I'm halfway through my hair, and I've laid a line in the sand. I've given you some sort of promise that I'm going to do more of this. It's a bit all over the place, I know. Do I share it? Do I share it to my friends? Do I share it to my social media that I only posted on for the first time in nearly 3 years, just over 3 years the other day? I don't know. I mean, I'm nowhere near making jewellery yet. I've got a little bit of a way to go yet with the workshop, sorry, studio. But listen to it. I've always liked working on a Sunday morning. Sunday mornings are normally car boot. That's like a major work day. That's where I go with my head torch at 4 o'clock in the morning and grab whatever I can that I think I can make some money out of, find some interest in. But often I'm actually back by 9 o'clock, you know, in the dark with the head torch on, 4 o'clock in the morning, do a couple of hours, back home. And this is probably the longest I've actually sat in the room on my own. There's a crack in one of the windows. Imperfection. Life is full of imperfection. It was a tiny crack that got bigger when they knocked the window into the gap. But a bit like that pottery where you fix the cracks with gold. It's good to have a bit of imperfection to remind you that you don't have to be perfect.